Sunshine, the sci-fi horror film you probably never heard of. Let's talk about it. I love sci-fi horror. I've always been a fan of films like Alien, Predator, Pandorum, and even the more cerebral ones like Netflix's Black Mirror. It's my jam. And why is it my jam? Because it's a lens into what could be, what could possibly happen. It's imagination stretched to theoretical probabilities. It's also amazing to see what filmmakers can do with these fantastic ideas. Sunshine is that kind of film. Here come the spoilers. So if you don't want to know about the film and you want to go and watch it for yourself, here's your warning. I'm going to be providing a brief synopsis right after this part. And because you probably never heard of this film, I urge you to go see it right now. It's currently free to watch on YouTube Movies, and you can click the film right here. So it's right, you could click that, there's a card right there. Click that, go watch it, please. For the rest of you, and those of you returning back from actually watching the film, let's keep going. The sun is running out of juice. A crew of astronauts, engineers, ballistics experts, therapists? Yeah, they have therapists, and he's insane too. And scientists are on a ship to do what exactly? Start the sun back up. Seriously, to start the sun. They journey to go to the sun, and along the way they encounter a problem while passing by Mercury. Shipbird finds a distress beacon. This distress beacon is from another team who was sent 7 years prior to this team's mission to do the exact same thing. Obviously, they fail, hence distress beacon. But they come across the beacon after passing Mercury. The question is then raised as to why they never heard this before. Shipbird says magnetic shit interfered because they were so close to the sun. Makes sense.
The sun is crazy with magnets and shit.
So, now they have a dilemma after finding out that this ship is practically intact. That dilemma is simple. The probability of starting the sun with the payload they currently have is less than if they had two. Other ship has another payload. More payload, better probability of starting the sun back up.
Simple.
So, it's up to the Scarecrow to make that decision. And he says, let's go get that payload, bitch. He doesn't say that. It's more like science-y than what I said. Anyways, they go to the other ship. En route to the ship, Sad Boy miscalculates the shields, which in the film sounds like the tiniest miscalculation, to which it is.
The trajectory is good, but it changes our angle of approach to the sun by 1.1 degrees.
However, because of this lapse of thought, he kind of just f***ed the whole ship. Now, Scarecrow and the Samurai need to go into space and fix some shields so they can continue the journey to the other ship. They lose a communications tower, their garden is fried, which means air becomes scarce on the ship. The computer freaks out and starts setting the ship back to its original position. And because of this, the Samurai burns to death. Now, the team has no captain, air is running out, and the second in command is Shipbird. Everyone's sad, especially the guy that f***ed up the calculation, so he goes into a depression. They continue the journey to the other ship. After reaching the ship, they find a bunch of dust,
The air is full of dust.
a well-functioning ecosystem, and a crispy crittered crew.
Dust.
After walking around trying to figure out what the f*** even happened, they realize the payload has been disabled, so they can't even use it, and the ship's computer's borked. Pretty much, they went out there for nothing and jeopardized the mission. Captain America's really mad about that and blames Scarecrow. The airlock they shifted onto the maroon ship explodes. Nobody knows how, but Houston, we now have a problem. 4 guys are on the marooned, non-functional ship, including the only guy that can actually arm the payload to start the sun. And they have only one spacesuit. Captain America fights with Shipbird because Shipbird is the acting captain and he's afraid to die. Captain America says the Scarecrow is the most important Scarecrow there is because he's literally the only one that can start the payload. Hence, he gets the suit. They finally kind of agree because Captain America wants to put aluminum foil on and cling onto the Scarecrow after blowing the airlock. There is a tiny probability that Captain America and Shipbird both survive this insane stunt. Houston, we have another problem. Airlock needs to be blown manually. Ship Pushed In volunteers to stay behind and blow the airlock manually because he's obsessed with the sun. You're probably wondering why I'm calling him Ship Pushed In. It's because of Training Day. He's in that movie. There's a scene in that film where they talk about getting their ship pushed in.
You ever had your ship pushed in? Your ship pushed in. Simple question. Nah? No. Had my shit pushed in.
Oh, yeah, man. I had my shit pushed in, bro. Big time.
So now we're referring to him as Ship Pushed In. I just want you to know that. So he blows the airlock and 3 idiots fly out into the void. Shipbird gets smacked by floating debris and flies into the void. He also freezes in the void because...
Space.
that guy. Captain America and Scarecrow survive, but Captain America's fingies have frostbite. Ship Pushed In, now stuck on the non-functional ship, hangs out in the observation room and becomes among the crispy crittered. Now, Houston, we have an even bigger problem. The remaining crew is trying to figure out who blew the airlock. Also, air is running out and they don't even have enough to get back home. One-way trip. Captain America is really mad about that. He also volunteers to kill the depressed dude because Captain America is convinced Sad Boy blew the airlock.
I'll do it. I'm not passing any bucks.
Also, they need air to reach the sun, and he's taking up too much air. Kill Sad Boy, complete the mission. Captain America is all about the mission.
I'll do it.
They find out Sad Boy committed he couldn't handle his up. Now everyone thinks they're safe. Or are they? After checking on the payload, the computer warns the Scarecrow that they won't make the journey. Scarecrow asks why, because Scarecrow thinks there are 4 members on the ship remaining. By Crouching Tiger's calculations, they should have enough air to complete the mission. Computer says,
Nah, bitch. You got 5 people on the ship and this unknown dude is in the observation room.
Scarecrow goes to check it out. It's the naked, burnt up captain from the other ship who slithered his way onto their ship to f everything up. He's the guy who blew the airlock too. He's religious and insane. He killed everyone on the other ship.
When he chooses for us to die, it is not our place to challenge God.
And God's plan is, don't interfere with it because everyone deserves to die. Morbid. Scarecrow gets cut across the chest and runs away. Freaky Burn Man locks him in the airlock with no way to communicate with anyone because the freaky dude sabotaged everything. Crouching Tiger gets murdered. Captain America tries to fix a computer but freezes to death in coolant, and the pilot runs away into the payload. Scarecrow now MacGyvers his way to blowing the airlock into the void and separates the main ship from the payload. The ticket home explodes because the sun is a boss-ass bitch. And now, we're hurtling towards the sun. Shit gets weird here. And I also think it's implied that because the payload is like flipping around and the sun is full of magnets and shit, that time just doesn't function the same way on the surface of the sun.
That's the problem right there. Between the boosters and the gravity of the sun, the velocity of the payload will become so great, space and time will become smeared together. Everything will distort, everything will be unquantifiable.
So we get weird camera angles, distorted images, and a fight to the finish with Freaky Burn Man. Scarecrow finds the pilot, she's all f***ed up. Freaky Burn guy f***s everyone up. The Scarecrow gets dangled over the edge and he rips Freaky Burn Man's arm skin off. Ugh. They fall to their death. Or not, because the sun is all weird with magnets and shit. Afterwards, Freaky Burn Man is just standing there, like an idiot, and literally leaves the Scarecrow alone after he got his skin grafted off. Also, the Scarecrow kind of just leaves the pilot and we never see her again. The Scarecrow hobbles to start the payload. He starts it, fairies appear because the payload is starting, and fairies are the primordial entities that start the bomb.
What?
Look, it made you laugh. Whatever, I thought it was funny. Anyways, he looks at the sun's magma and we get a white screen. Obviously, the payload exploded, but did it work? We cut to what Earth looks like now. Before the movie started, the Scarecrow sent a message to his sister back on Earth. After a certain point on the crew's journey, they pass a point where they could no longer contact anyone on Earth. So, we see Scarecrow's sister playing that message. Pretty much saying that if you wake up one day and the sun is extra pretty, you know we were successful on the mission. We get an overhead shot of the sun shining its magical warmth on the earth, ever brighter for a new day. Movie over. They started the sun, humanity is saved. Have you subscribed? No? Go ahead and do that right now. Helps the channel grow, helps the community grow. Back to the video. First of all, the antagonist is the sun. How badass is that? You would think that the antagonist is Freaky Burn Man, but you would be wrong. He's just a psycho product of humanity. The real problem is the sun, and it running out of fart juice to give back to humanity so we can survive. That's such an insanely cool concept. And the fact that they chose the inevitability of the sun running out of fart juice as the main antagonist is awesome. It's taking something that will eventually happen that we will never get to see and turning it into the main villain of the film. Second of all, the level of anxiety that is driven in this film alone by the most minuscule problem is through the roof. The film does a really good job of making you feel that pressure, building it up and showing you what the ramifications are of each decision that they make. And they make a lot of bad decisions. Thirdly, the way the film is directed does a lot with just pure emotion that bleeds through the screen from each character. Sometimes words aren't even said, but you feel the weight and pressure this crew is going through just by their acting alone. They are tasked to save humanity, and any wrong move they make can jeopardize humanity as a whole. No pressure, bro. Shit. Fourthly, Freaky Burn Man. Although he's not the real antagonist, he's horrifying. But why is he horrifying? From my perspective, I really think it's because we never actually fully see him. We just get like a mean grimace and some strange shots to mask his appearance. This gives him this otherworldly presence. Like he's not even human anymore, which he isn't, and that's the point. The guy is so fractured and beyond repair that he's literally become a monster. And the way the director chose to like kind of shade his full appearance makes him that much more scarier. He's also a religious nut. When he first meets Scarecrow, he thinks he's the angel of death.
Are you an angel? Has the time come?
Like, bro, honestly, kudos to that. I was legit scared shitless. And finally, the sound design and the marooned ship. That distress beacon is quite literally the scariest sound I have ever heard.
Icarus, please play audio file 75/B.
Yes, Harvey.
And file.
What is it?
It's the Icarus One.
And the way the film kind of sort of takes that sound and uses it to hint at like a glimmer of hope while also being insanely creepy, it's just masterful. Additionally, when part of the crew reaches the maroon ship, there are these like eerie splices in the film. Blink and you'll miss it. It's so freaky, and by the time you realize that it's spliced images of the crew while they were alive, and then seeing that crew crispy crittered leaves this haunting impression of what the even happened. That, juxtaposed with their own photo on their own functioning ship, which is literally the exact same photo with different crew members, and the looming dread of their mission while they sit with their consequences alongside even further horrifying decisions they have to make. It's just sci-fi horror gold. The film does so much with an hour and 47-minute runtime. It's tense, it makes you feel emotion, and it leaves you on your seat every second of the way. I love this film. It's a diamond that I feel not enough people talk about. So, if sci-fi horror is your jam, please give this a watch. Highly recommend it. But what I think. What do you think? Did you watch Sunshine? If so, I want to hear what you thought about the film, and if you liked it as much as I did. Also, if you didn't like it, why didn't you? I want to know. Let's talk about it. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. I really appreciate everything you do. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Any engagement helps. And as always, my friends, peace, and much love. I'll catch you on the next one.